Hey everyone, so today I'll be doing a different kind of video. It will be a team format video. Instead of individual battles, this is going to be team battles. Personally, this is my favorite format out of all battles in Pokemon Go, so I'll talk a little bit about what the format is and talk about what we're watching here today. There's a couple of different organizations that host team battle formats, and one of the biggest and well-known formats is Go Team Up, hosted by Go Stadium. They've hosted a total of 6 team tournaments so far, and there's been hundreds of competitors from around the world that have competed in it. I'll be recapping battles today from the finals of the 4th tournament they hosted. My team, the Cool Cats, made it to the finals for that one, and we went against the Arbor Arbok. My team is the Cool Cats, and it comprises of myself, CochinoMum, Aravel, and theChaoticAce. In this format, it is a team draft style, so there can't be repeating Pokemons within the same team of 4. There are usually bans for every tournament as well. That changes the meta quite a bit. And each player will only face off against one opponent per team in a set of 5. The player in slot A will face player in slot A on the other team, slot B against slot B on the other team, and so on and so forth. The team that scores the most combined points amongst all 4 pairs will be the winner of that team battle. One other very interesting aspect of Go Team Up is that you can have a double down every time you face an opponent. A double down is essentially choosing one player on your team to earn twice the amount of points for every win they get. So if you have a really favorable matchup, you want that person to be your double down. I have the full list of rules in the description below, so feel free to check out that link, but let's get into some really exciting battles here. So going into the very first battle, I got my teammate theChaoticAce versus DaRealPete from Arbor Arbok. So I'm showcasing these matches in the order that they took place in, so that way you get maximum excitement of how everything went down. So as you can see here, theChaoticAce has a really great safe swap in Vigoroth here, so he's going to do quite well, forcing a shield there, but my opponent does recognize that they can win this matchup if they end up just letting that second body slam go and just charming down. So this is obviously not the best matchup for Venusaur because Berserker is going to resist all these attacks, but Berserker is quite glassy, so these Frenzy Plants end up doing quite a bit. So as you can see here, ChaoticAce is going to swap to their Melmetal here, and this is actually an okay matchup, especially with shields down. This Raichu is definitely going to not handle these charges well, but he does a great call by just choosing not to farm the trying not to shield the Melmetal and farming down the Raichu here. Unfortunately, Berserker is going to win that CMP there and take the first win to DaRealPete. So this is the finals of Go Team Up 4, which means that both teams went through quite a bit of teams to get to this final stage. So there's these are very top players on all sides. So again, this almost looks like the same exact matchup, but he is going to come in Vigoroth safe swap again into his Wigglytuff. This time, DaRealPete does let the Wigglytuff go, which is quite favorable for the ChaoticAce, and this Vigoroth is going to resist all that Shadow Claw damage, so it's going to do a ton of damage to this Berserker. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a best counter for this Berserker, so he's just going to have to come in with Venusaur here and try to farm this thing down, which is going to resist all this grass damage. And so Raichu comes back in, and he's going to drop these Frenzy Plants, which are going to hurt Raichu quite a bit, and they're able to get to another one as well before this Raichu can double up on Wild Charges, and then able to finish all the Berserker there. So we're tied 1 apiece. These are definitely some close matches, and neither team has doubled down these 2 players, so they're only getting 1 point per win. Okay. Alright. Sorry, I have a bunch of cat hair all over my face. Again, here comes the Vigoroth. Very solid against DaRealPete's team. And he is going to double shield these close combats. And let's see how he decides to come in now. And so he does bring in Altaria this time around, which is definitely pretty strong if you can avoid the Frostlass and Melmetal on this team. Shields down, even Frostlass has to worry about the charge moves from Altaria. And he does come in with Raichu, and this Vigoroth just going to town, pretty much just trying to solo this entire team right here. Absolutely wild. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, ChaoticAce just putting in work here. Let's see if they have a Psychic. They do have Psychic on this Raichu, so that did come in clutch, but unfortunately this Melmetal should be able to take out this Raichu. Just barely though. Wow, Raichu actually almost clutched in that there. Alright, so very favorable lead here for ChaoticAce. So we are up 1 point for the cool Catz. And again, this Vigoroth come in handy against Ivysaur. Is not even the best matchup per se, because Ivysaur is resisting all these counters. But again, Vigoroth spam of body slams is doing a lot of work here. So this is kind of scary if this Ivysaur is going to farm down this Vigoroth, and it is. So he does have to come in with this Melmetal. Probably could have farmed a little bit there just because the charge moves from Ivysaur aren't really a huge issue, but that's fine. And then so here comes the Melmetal against Raichu. Raichu is not going to shield the first move for sure. Do we see the third Pokemon? If I were to guess, it's probably a Venusaur. Let's see. So he is going to shield the first wild charge, and he's going to try to, yeah, so bring in the Venusaur here. This is going to be quite favorable for the Altaria. It's not necessarily over yet because the Melmetal might be able to farm a little bit of energy off of this Altaria and have a move ready for the Raichu after. Let's see how he places out. Oh, yeah, no, this Melmetal is quite low, and the Sky Attack should put it quite low as well. These battles, for reference, took place at the end of September 2020, so some move updates might have not happened yet, some Pokemon might not have been released yet. This was definitely before Sky Attack nerf, so the Sky Attacks are still hurting quite a bit before their nerf. Rock Slides as well will do a decent amount. Alright, this is kind of an interesting match, fairly neutral throughout. So this Frost Slice is going to do quite a bit just from these Powder Snows though, and he decides to shield and preserve this Frost Slice. Probably not a bad idea because he has a bunch of energy here. Unfortunately goes for the Avalanche, but wasn't sure what was coming in next. And again, here comes the Vigoroth, Save Swap, and against the Altaria. So this is kind of an okay matchup for the most part. Shields down is definitely a little bit harder for Vigoroth, but that's fine. Still able to do a chunk of damage against this Altaria. And let's see what he has in the back. Maybe it's the... Oh, doesn't even take out the Vigoroth. This is huge. And here comes back the Berserker. This is a really good spot for ChaoticAce, and this Foul Play is just not going to be enough. And he's probably going to be a Divine Whip this thing down. Oh no, he gets a Frenzy Plant. Alright, so we are up 3-2 right now against Arbor Arbok, and it is my turn. So I went up next against Soul Ray, and this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup right here, just because these Mudshots are doing resisted damage against my Drifblim. So as you can see, my team in the bottom there, I did have a double flyer team, and I figured it'd be pretty solid against my opponent's team for the most part. Alright, and this Drifblim doing a lot of work, able to get to a Shadow Ball against its Deoxys defense, and I was able to land the Shadow Ball, so that's huge. I think I just shielded this. Yeah, I just shielded, get myself a little bit more energy here. This Drifblim is definitely putting in a lot of work into his team. Here comes a Bastion. This is perfect because I have 2 Bastion counters in the back. So I'm going to swap straight to my Machamp. I don't even mind too much here. I think he was still switch locked a little bit longer, which is why he couldn't switch in. But I have a Rainy Cast in the back that I believe I'm going to see if I could try not to show it in this matchup. No, I'm going to have to show it. That's fine. As little info as you give your opponent in a set of 5, the better, because you can implement different strategies for next one or use the same ones if they didn't see it, right? Alright, so Lolo Marowak into Tropius, definitely a solid lead for me. And so in this situation, again, I'm going to come with the Drifblim and start debuffing away at this Swampert. Swampert is going to be less of an issue after the first debuff, and let's see if they shield or not. But I'm going to put them in a situation where they might consider shielding, but no, they don't. This is really good because this Drifblim is going to be really solid against the Tropius as well. So he does come in with his Bastion. So I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Ball because if I debuff, he can still swap out, right? And I have a Machamp here, so I'm going to shield the Flamethrower. I probably didn't need to shield this Flamethrower. I do survive it. Here comes the Tropius. I'm going to come in with my Lolo Marowak. So Lolo Marowak is going to be solid here, but my opponent does have 2 shields. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. So I go straight for the Shadow Bone right there, and then was that Shadow Bone or Shadow Ball? Maybe it was Shadow. Oh, Shadow Ball, yeah. It was because Shadow Bone had not been released yet. So what we're doing here is I'm trying to wait out my switch clock, just so that they don't farm too much off my Lolo Marowak. I did not want them to have a Flamethrower ready for my Machamp. So, and he realized that, so he stopped tapping as well. And then now, with the shields down, I'm able to finish off the Bastion. So able to take the first 2 games, which is pretty solid, and then going into game number 3. So this is definitely a terrible lead for me, but I do bring in my own Tropius, and this is going to be a little tricky, not going to lie. So this Bastion is going to be a hard check to this Tropius, especially because my Tropius does not even have Razor Leaf. So these Air Slashers are going to be quite resistant, but able to still chunk away at this Bastion, which is pretty solid. And I know Rainy Cast is fairly bulky as well, so I know I could just water gun this thing down without having to spend a shield. But losing the counter swap without grabbing a shield from your opponent is never a good time, right? So I'm going to just water gun this thing down, just commit to it, and then I'm going to just throw the Weather Ball, do a little chip damage. I know that I can't get too much usage out of this Rainy Cast anymore, and so here I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. I've been throwing Icy Winds all day long against Swampert, hoping to grab, hoping that they don't shield, and he does not shield. That's perfect. After this, I think my win con is I'm committed to a farm down against this Swampert. Let's see if I can make it pull it off, and I do. Now this puts me in a really good spot now because these Icy Winds are going to do a ton of damage to Tropius, so I'm just going to debuff this. I just got to debuff it all the way down so that these Leaf Blades do not take me out, and then I'm going to go for that final Icy Wind to finish it off. So I should be able to survive this Leaf Blade, and yep, I still do, and then now I'm able to finish off this Tropius with another Icy Wind. So, or barely, but just able to. Yeah, so kind of a tough one, but able to kind of find a win con in that last matchup. All right, very favorable lead for me here. Shadow Machamp into a Abomasnow. I'm going to throw the Cross Chop right away. I don't really want to get hit by a Weather Ball. I'm going to match their shields here though. And here comes the Deox Defense. I'm just going to go, yeah, so this is Shadow Ball, so it's a little bit harder of a matchup because it might be a little bait dependent here. I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Ball though. I don't really want to bait. Maybe I should have. Oh no, I don't. Yeah, that's fine. This is really good for me too, because the Abomasnow doesn't want to see this either. Here comes a Swampert though. I'm still locked into this matchup, which is not great. Swampert's getting a bunch of energy here. As you can see, I'm swapping over to my Machamp. I did not want to get hit by a Hydro Cannon, so I want to swap into this thing as soon as possible, right? If they farm down my low Marowak, then they can just throw 2 Hydro Cannons on my Machamp. I still lose. But it looks like it's still not great for me here. My Bastion is unfortunately going to be having not a good time against this Swampert. So really well played by Solray there out of a bad lead and a bad counter swap, but still able to kind of find a win condition right there. All right. Going to the 5th and final matchup against Solray. Terrible lead. I'm going to swap straight away to my Shadow Machamp. Go for the Rock Slide. See how much damage it does. This is pre-Rock Slide nerf, so it's going to do quite a bit of damage. I grab a shield, so that's good. Anytime you grab a shield on the safe swap and you lose it, it's still fine. It's still a win in my book, or it's a better situation to come out of, I guess, because you're not going to win every safe swap situation. In fact, you probably won't win most if they have a good backline. All right, so getting some extra farm here at my Drifblim, that's really solid. And they come back in with Bastion. I come in with the Rainy Cast, and they bring in the Swampert. This is really solid for me. Swampert does lose pretty hard to Rainy Cast, and with a shield advantage, I'm in a really good spot. I'm not going to shield. I don't have to really worry about baits here. I'm just going to shield the Hydro Cannons anyway, just to play it safe. And then here comes my Rainy Cast. I'm going to shield this Stone Edge, and then pretty much take out this Bastion. And start throwing these Weather Balls. I should get to the second one before they get to their Stone Edge. And yep, able to finish it off. So able to put my team ahead by a decent amount right here, which is good. We need all the wins we can get. Now here's a big match. T. Douglas is the Arbor Arbok's double down, which means every win T. Douglas gets against Airvel counts as double the points, right? So this is huge. We haven't had our double down yet. It's going to be our last teammate, CochinoMum, but in this specific matchup, Airvel definitely has his work cut out for him. He has a, yeah, the matchup is kind of tough for him, which is why they chose to double down T. Douglas. Yeah, let's see how Airvel plays out this. Able to get Reggie onto this Umbreon, which is really solid because Umbreon's quite strong against his team. And then he's able to use that Shadow Victory Bell and take out the Umbreon. You know, some people don't like Shadow Victory Bell. Well, Airvel's also got a Shadow Abomasnow, so just gotta deal with it, I guess. But yeah, able to do quite a bit of damage with this Shadow Victory Bell, and here comes a Medicham. Also gonna be pretty favorable for Victory Bell until you get hit by an Ice Punch. He's going to let this Ice Punch go and come in with his last Pokemon, which is going to be the Whiscash. Whiscash is going to be very solid here. Probably just shield for safety purposes, but Whiscash should be able to handle this Medicham regardless. So really solid, able to finish off the Medicham there. So avoid one of those double down points, which was really solid there. And then Reggie again into an Umbreon, well, into a Venusaur lead and then Umbreon. This is very favorable for him. T. Douglas does shield the Focus Blast, which is good. It was a good shield. Airvel's going to stay in here. My guess is he has another check to Venusaur in the back, so he just wants to get rid of this Umbreon. And that's not a bad play by him, and he'll maintain switch advantage while still maintaining even shields. And so you can see his back Pokemon, he had a Whiscash and a Deoxys Defense. Whiscash definitely doesn't want to see the Venusaur, but as long as he has switch advantage here, he should be fine, and he just needs to get rid of the Venusaur with Deoxys Defense. Reggie put in a bunch of woe, took out Umbreon, took out half of Medicham's health. He actually comes in with the... Interesting. Okay, he comes in with the Deoxys Defense. I guess now he goes for a Blizzard. Yeah, interesting. I'm surprised he didn't come in. Oh, I guess his Deoxys Defense doesn't have Psycho Boost, so Venusaur's kind of a tough matchup either way. He does get a bait though, that's huge. He's just gonna go straight for another Mud Bomb. It's actually a smart play because he probably realizes that he can't actually get to the Blizzard in time. But now T. Douglas can farm down the Whiscash, which makes it a little bit trickier. So he does have Frenzy Plant ready, and then he's able to just barely get to the Thunderbolt here against the Medicham and counter down the Venusaur. So able to get another point there. Super close match. I don't know if I would play the same way, but Airvel clearly got the win, so he probably knows what he's doing better than I do. Alright, so Victory Bell into Galarian Stunfisk, a very solid matchup. This is also before the Razor Leaf nerf, so this specific matchup is much more favorable for Victory Bell. He does have the double shield though, which is not great, but it is what it is. And then again, he has the potential to lock in that Reggie into Umbreon. Always good to see, so let's see how this Umbreon plays it out. Hopefully, T. Douglas does not have the Venusaur in the back, because that definitely would be kind of trouble for this Reggie, but let's see. So based on how he's playing this out, it seems like he's not afraid of the Reggie in the back end. Maybe it's a Medicham? Okay, so he comes in, yeah, it is the Medicham. So he comes back in with Stunfisk, and then now this Whiscash is going to start spamming away. This is going to be kind of a tough one for Airvel, because T. Douglas still has a shield, and yeah, but this Whiscash is spamming away. Let's see if he goes for a Psychic. He does go for a Psychic. Smart play by T. Douglas. But that means that T. Douglas is only running Ice Punch and Psychic, which means his Registeel does not have to worry about charge moves from this Medicham. So he is going to tank the move first, get a little extra farm, and then try to outpace this G-Fisk to a move. And no, unfortunately it's not going to happen. This is going to be a Rock Slide and take out the Reggie. So 2 quick points right there for T. Douglas for that win, because he is the double down. So we get a similar matchup again. Let's see if Airvel can play this out a little better than last time, or if maybe he changed the back line a little bit. So he does come in with his Victory Bell again and shields, and then let's see if he plays it differently. He's going double shield, or yeah, he does still double shield again. It goes for a Rock Slide, and then exact same play pretty much. But as you can see on Airvel's side, he actually brought in the Deoxys Defense this time instead of the Whiscash. That might prove to be a better choice, but let's see how T. Douglas plays it out, and maybe T. Douglas does not have the Medicham in the back this time. We will see. Alright, so this is looking like an exact replay of the last match, but he is able to lock on down this... Ooh, just tried to swap out. Unfortunately, not enough, but actually survives the Rock Slide, which is pretty solid. All right, so was trying to swap out to... oh, he goes for a bait right here. Interesting. Doesn't work. But he's trying to swap out to his Deoxys Defense, but ended up being okay there. All right, I don't know. This puts Airvel in kind of a tough spot. So he does go for another bait with Rock Slide. Let's see if T. Douglas goes for shield. Still no shield. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. This guy has nerves of steel. Alright, so going for one last Rock Slide. Able to finally get a shield there. And surprised it was the one time he actually didn't even charge up to the Thunderbolt. But I think that was a solid shield because he was low on health. And Victory Bell able to finish off. So, able to win one more match for us. That's huge. Denying T. Douglas at least 3 matches so far with 1 match to go. All right, one battle to go. All right, so again, Registeel into Umbreon. This Registeel is doing work against his team. I'm surprised we didn't see the Mantine, but I guess the Mantine might be a little tough to play with DD in play, and I don't know. Mantine would be really solid against this Registeel as a check, but Shadow Victory Belt is kind of annoying for Mantine to deal with. All right, here comes the Medicham, and able to counter down the Registeel. But we got the Deoxys defense now. Let's see if he goes for Rock Size again, or maybe he goes straight for a Thunderbolt this time. He does go for the Thunderbolt this time, so no baits. Let's see if T. Douglas shields. Does shield, so able to read his the shielding situation quite well. The Shadow Victory Bell. All right, let's see if it can pull through. It does have a decent amount of energy here, so it is going to start Razor Leafing this thing down. And he does shield again the Rock Slide, and I think he commits to a Farm Down. This is huge. 2 Shadow Razor Leaf Blades coming towards this Medicham. This Medicham can't counter this thing down. It's going to do a ton of damage throughout. He's going to throw that final Ice Punch. He does take out the Victory Bell, but this Deoxys defense has a little bit too much health left. So Airvo able to take it 4-1 and deny 4, double down potential points, which is huge. So going into our final matchup, we got CochinoMum against Dijon, and as you can see from the score, and CochinoMum is also a double down. This matchup is pretty much a wrap, because even if Dijon goes 5-0 here, Catz will still be up by 3 points. So at this point, we were just still playing out the matchup, obviously, because we're still all competitors and want to see this play out. But yeah, at this point, it doesn't impact the outcome of the tournament. Alright, so CochinoMum bring her signature Sableye and Toxicroak here, and using them as counters for Azu. Really solid here, because this Azu has no shield at this point. The Sludge Bomb is going to do a ton of damage and knock out this Azu. And here comes a Dewgong. So Dewgong coming in, going to start throwing these Mud Bombs before the Toxicroak is debuffed. Yeah, I think Dewgong maybe charging up a little extra energy here. I don't know. But yeah, this Sableye should be able to Shadow Claw it down, and then finish off that last Pokemon. So we were able to get 2 solid points from that. And then CochinoMum continuing to lead this Toxicroak into this Azu right here. And a little bit lag here, no worries. But so goes for the Ice Beam, and she just goes straight for Sludge Bomb again. No need to bait. And right here, this Toxicroak is going to be in a good spot against this Azu, going straight for the Sludge Bomb again, able to finish it off. No baits needed, and then again into this Dewgong. Dewgong has a decent amount of energy, which is going to be a little tricky for this backline, because the Sableye is not going to handle these Icy Winds very well, and Dijon does a great sack swap. What was it to? A Scrafty. Wow, what a sack. And this Noctowl is going to have to charge up quite a bit of extra energy here to handle the Dewgong in the back. The unfortunate part is these counters are doing neutral damage, so it's going to start adding up against this Noctowl. So it actually can't even really farm too much here. This Dewgong is going to get some extra farm, and unfortunately the Sableye was maybe 1 Shadow Call too short from the foul play. I don't think the foul play would have been enough anyway, so that match does go to Dijon. Really well played there. And then here comes a low Marowak Safe Swap. This is a very favorable matchup for Noctowl. It's going to wall off all these moves besides the Fire Spin, and unless this Marowak is running Fire Blast, which is unlikely, as you can see, the Shadow Ball does very, very low damage here, and this Noctowl can just start farming away. I think there's some mutual lag there, no worries. And CochinoMum is playing it very smart and reducing as much health on Noctowl as possible, so the opposing Pokemon cannot farm. So this Dewgong is only going to get maybe 2 Ice Shards of energy, maybe 3 off the Noctowl, which is really solid. And here comes Lapras, one of the greatest walls to Dewgong here. She's just going to start farming away, and probably going to go for the Skull Bash shortly after this. And so going for the Skull Bash here, and able to land it, obviously, because shields... Oh no, shields are still up. This is kind of interesting now, because this is going to be Haunter versus Toxicroak. Haunter is a counter for Toxicroak, but CochinoMum does have a shield advantage, and she should be in a good spot, because she just needs to double shield these Shadow Punches, and then can get to 1 Mud Bomb to KO the Haunter. And then, yeah, so it's good play by her to double shield there. And then now this Dewgong's not going to enjoy this Toxic Rogue either, and able to get us another 2 additional points. Going to the 4th matchup. Very favorable lead. Again, this is why we doubled down CochinoMum. She has a very good matchup against Dijon, and also plays her signature moms very well too. So this Skull Bash is going to chunk away at this Dewgong. Surprisingly, Dijon has not swapped out yet, so this makes me think that maybe he brought in Azu or maybe Marowak in the back, but something else that's weak for sure. All right, so Haunter comes in. This is a great matchup for the Sableye. She's going to shield. It's going to be Shadow Punch, but Shadow Punch will still definitely hurt the Sableye, and then she's going to no shield this Shadow Punch. Good call right there, because she knows the Sableye is going to survive, and then has a bunch of energy loaded on this Sableye. Goes straight for the return, the big nuke move against Scrafty. Going to be very, very solid. And now this is not going to be a good time for Dijon. She has a Toxic Rogue for both a Dewgong and a Scrafty, and still has a Lapras. Yeah, she's just going to counter straight down. Doesn't even need to swap to Lapras. Is going to shield probably a Power Punch, but it's all good. And just straight counter down this Scrafty. So taking another 2 additional points for us. Going to the last and final matchup. A very favorable lead with knocked out into Alolan Marowak. Not going to be a good time. But she does go for the Sky Attack right here to really chip down this Azu. And able to throw another one back to back, and really bring it quite low. For some reason she didn't swap out here. Maybe she has another counter for Alolan Marowak, is my guess, and able to get to another Sky Attack. Let's see if this Azu shields or not. Does shield, and then she brings in the Scrafty, or sorry, the Sableye. It's going to be interesting because Switch Timers are quite misaligned. Yeah, so that's kind of what I feared here, is that now Dijon can bring in the Scrafty to really lock it in against the Sableye here. Doesn't shield the foul play, which is probably smart, although the Marowak is going to be kind of a problem now, because the knocked out is kind of low on health, and then you see the Toxic Rogue is not going to handle these Bone Clubs very well. As you can see, this is the old Switch Timers, or the old Switch mechanics, so it's not on the side, so it's much harder to sack swap, but of course still to make quite a bit of plays. And Dijon goes for the Shadow Ball. I think she top left after that because the footage ends right there, but no worries, able to still take the final grand total win with Cool Catz against Arbor Arbok. After those finals, we were able to finish off as champions of Go Team Up number 4, and with that we were actually given an invitation to Go Team Up World Championships. Essentially, for World Championships, there were a total of 16 teams that were invited, all previous winners of previous Go Team Up tournaments, as well as runner-ups, and top performing teams were given an invitation. So I wanted to create this video as a first showcase of team tournaments. We are currently actually in World Championships right now with the Cool Catz, so I will be releasing more team battle footage in the coming few days, as you can see our journey through World Championships and see how we do throughout against some of the best teams in the world in this format. One little spoiler alert, we end up facing Arbor Arbok again in World Championships somewhere down the road, either in group stage or elimination stages, so stay tuned for that. A big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you like to have early access to some of my strategies and lineups or additional behind the scenes footage, feel free to sign up in the Patreon link down below. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content so you don't miss out on any future team tournament battles as we go through World Championships. Hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll see y'all next time.